Thousands turned up at Kensington Oval for Junior Kadumit. Officials looking to broaden Barbados' appeal as a tourist destination. And in sports, the 2019 Pan Am Games open in Peru.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Very good evening. I'm Lisa Broom. This is Newsnight. In our top story tonight, thousands poured into Kensington Oval today to witness the NCF in collaboration with Consolidated Finance's 2019 Junior Kadumit and Fair. Shane Jones took in some of the action at the region's Mecca.
In a huge bump up from last year's numbers, over 3,500 people turned up at Kensington Oval to witness the little ones strut their stuff across the Junior Kadumit stage. The Oval was a kaleidoscope of color and culture as the kiddies had their very own day to show off their costumes. Schools played a big part in the 2019 edition of the Junior Kadumit. This piece, worn by 14-year-old Kayla Eiffel of Springer Memorial, was quite clever. She's a bookworm depicting the sporting and cultural heritage of the school.
The National Cultural Foundation this year expanded its costume making workshop, and we are very pleased to announce that we had participation actually from 2 secondary schools. So we did have participation this year from Springer Memorial as well as the Aldersley Secondary School, as well as about 7 schools from the inner city. That is the presentation you would have seen earlier today, Operation White Dove, and they are again pushing the parking in peace for the rest of the Crop Festival.
The parents are always a huge part of the day, and we caught up with Parliamentary Representative for St. Michael Northwest, Neil Rowe, who was there with his 7-year-old daughter, Nyla.
I decided to allow her to jump with some of my constituents that I gave the opportunity as well, to be able to jump in the Kiddies Kadumit band with Blackbird's production, right? Thanks to Sanka Price, for working with me and also allowing me to create the opportunities for some of the children within my constituency, to take part in this activity.
Champion band leader Kevin Small of Fifth Element says the day was satisfying.
I think that I really did put out everything that I possibly wanted to when I came up with the theme some months ago. And it would have grown from then till now. The kids would have been able to, have an educational experience while having fun. And that includes helping with making the costumes and so on. So for me, as a band leader and as, having little ones around me, I think that I have definitely done what I've set out to do today.
What you did? That? Show me how you dance. Show me how you dance. A fun day for all. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Thanks, Shane. And a brand new Soca Monarch will be crowned tomorrow when the rejigged event takes place at the National Botanical Gardens in Waterford. Shane Jones is with us again, and he has a few things you should know for tomorrow's big day.
While the gates open at 11, the competition gets underway at 2 p.m. There will be 2 box offices. They will be open from 10 a.m. One on the playing field outside of the entrance of the NCC and the other opposite the entrance of Combermere School. In terms of getting in, there's a north entrance, and access is next to the NCC entrance. That will be for regular parking, special parking, and coaches. Now, the south entrance, access is opposite Combermere School, and that will be paid parking. The Transport Board will be providing a bus service from the Speightstown and Fairchild Street terminals to the National Botanical Gardens starting at 10 a.m. and running on demand. The service will run to and from the venue and will end 1 hour after the event. There is no additional cost for this service. It will be provided at the regular fare. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Tourism officials are upbeat about the sector's fortunes over this crop-over season. This assessment from Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Rudy Grant. There are only 2 weekends left in the festival, with many of the biggest events, including tomorrow's Soca Monarch competition and next week's Pick of the Crop Monarch, 4-day morning, and Grand Kadumit yet to come.
Things are looking very positive from our reports, which we have from our members. We are confident that the performance will be as good as last year. Of course, one of the elements that we've recognized very clearly when we do our surveys is that there are a lot of bookings that are coming in late, so our expectation is that definitely the performance will be as good as last year, if not better.
At the start of the season, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. announced a partnership with Caribbean Airways as the official airline for the season. And Mr. Grant says from all indications, the crop-over visitors are coming from the traditional source markets of the U.S. and the Caribbean in particular.
The availability of airlift is critical for visitors being able to come to Barbados to enjoy what we have to offer as a destination and to enjoy kadum and to enjoy our crop over. So additional airlift is always welcomed. I know that the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. Would have been offering a number of packages in order to encourage persons to come to Barbados. So we certainly welcome the additional airlift with respect to the Caribbean.
Meantime, the Sanitation Service Authority says it is ready for what is expected to be a hectic 2 weeks ahead as crop-over reaches its climax. Public Relations Officer Carl Alf Padmore says they are on course, starting with the Soca Monarch competition tomorrow at the National Botanical Gardens.
We already have our cans down. We have our crew. The crew will be on the ground from around midday. You know, it starts at 11 o'clock. And our protocol is that we clean during the event so that there is only mopping up after the event. In terms of Bridgetown Market and Grand Kaduma, we are well on course for that as well. We have the adequate number of cans. We have the crew. And we always have a briefing for them. On Grand Kaduma, the last band is really not the Roberts Band. It's really the Sanitation Service Authority. And we come down the road behind the music and we clean the streets of Barbados.
The days of Barbados being regarded as a destination primarily for those seeking to escape the cold must come to an end. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Carrie Simmons expressed this belief during the staging of the 5th Genealogy Marketplace hosted by the Department of Archives. Sharika Griffith tells us more.
As one of the most sought-after warm weather destinations in wintertime, Barbados welcomed some 90,000 visitors from the UK in just the first 4 months of 2019. However, Tourism Minister Carrie Simmons says past April, the country's lead economic sector slows down considerably.
And that there are restaurants that are not open and there are hotels that take the time to close down and refurbish and lay off staff temporarily, and taxi drivers who are without income or decent income. And that has been the pattern of Barbados' tourism. And it is my view that philosophically we have to assess this and to recognize that there are some things that we can do better.
Minister Simmons was speaking during the 5th Genealogy Marketplace, which attracted not only Barbadians, but visitors from Canada, South Carolina, and even New Zealand. The minister believes a vibrant heritage tourism sector would ensure hotels enjoy high occupancy levels year-round and result in the continuous employment of workers in the sector. But he says it's important to ensure that the Archives Department has the technological capacity to meet the increased demand from Barbadians at home and abroad who wish to trace their ancestry.
Equally, our libraries and the ability of our libraries to help tell the story must be refreshed. And many of our libraries must now be made more technologically viable. And this is something that we want Barbadians to be able to play a role in, especially those Barbadians living in the diaspora, who are invited back home to make charitable contributions towards assisting this country in positioning itself to speak to issues of this nature.
The tourism minister believes it's important that Barbados has the capacity to do DNA testing. He says there must also have a satisfactory number of genealogists on island. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thanks, Sharika. And in news from the region now, the People's National Congress Reform in Guyana says it is ready, along with its other coalition members, for general and regional elections. The party also chastised the opposition's approach towards the current house-to-house registration exercise. HGP TV's Javon Vickery reports.
Executive member of the People's National Congress Reform, Dr. George Norton, on Friday called out the opposition for what he called a blatant disregard for democracy with regards to the current house-to-house registration exercise conducted by GCOM. Dr. Norton, during the party's media engagement, further noted that it is disheartening to grasp that there has been attempts by the opposition through the judicial system to halt the current house-to-house registration process. The executive member further reiterated the view that the independence of GCOM must be respected by not only the opposition, but all other political parties with the aim of contesting the upcoming general and regional elections.
The PNCR calls on all political parties and civic groups to respect the independence of GCOM and the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. The PNCR is ready for general and regional elections whenever they are called. Along with our coalition partners, we are confident that the people of Guyana will vote resoundingly for the APNU AFC and gives us a new mandate to serve.